Yo, what's up, guys? welcome. It's a little blurry for me. I'm not quite sure, what's up with the quality. Hopefully that improves in just a bit here. Or maybe I just need to reload it. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks a little better when I click back on it. We're gonna wait for the audience to get a little bigger, and then we will get down into it. Main topic of discussion today is Trib. It is the hottest new game theory coin in crypto. If you guys got into Trib at any time during the past 7 days, the second it came out and for a little bit after, and you had an opportunity to walk away with almost a 2x, you have to look at the Trib webpage, and let's go ahead and check this out right now. It appears that the Trib price now is currently $3.31, almost $3.32. And the amount of Trib that's been burned, okay, and you know what, I think I can actually just put this up on screen. We can see right now that the Trib price is $3.32 about. The floor calculation is not working, but it's actually really simple to calculate the floor. If you take the number of burned Trib and you divide it by 1 million, that's the current floor price. So right now, if all of the Trib in existence were sold into the bonding curve, that would drive the price down to about 76 cents. So if everybody sold every Trib in existence, we would be down right back to 76 cents. So right now, sorry, I know you guys are watching a stream a couple weeks ago where I had just eaten a shitload of Chinese food. So we're kind of in that boat again. I posted on Twitter right after this launch that I was going to go ahead and dump my Trib, and I was going to be buying back in. Now, I've got this pulled up right here because I just wanted to show you guys what we're looking at here, who has the coins, what the distribution looks like, how many coins people have, etc., etc. So right now, Trib has 1,821 total addresses. You can see that the distribution for Trib is actually quite good. Just scrolling down a little bit just to check it out, you can see that you've got Mr. Megalodon over here. He's got 165,000, almost 166,000 Trib tokens. And then as we go down the list, you can see that the distribution is actually, fantastic. Because there's really not one person here who can control the Trib narrative. It's in the hands of pretty much everybody. So there'd have to be a whole lot of people that decided to buy or sell. So my theory right now is we're kind of at break even, and that's why the selling has temporarily stopped. And there's two ways to think of it, because right now, one or two things can happen. The people that sold originally are gonna say, I wanna go and jump back in. This is the break even price. So a lot of people are gonna be hesitant to sell on this level. However, you've also got a lot of people that are probably nervous. A lot of people have lost money in altcoins in the last week or two, and they bought Trib and they're already kind of kicking themselves. Man, I wish I sold a little bit earlier, because I'd be feeling comfy right now. I'd have the ability to buy back in, and this would just be an easy process for me. So those people are definitely sweating a little bit right now, and rightfully so. So the first thing that happens is, nothing happens here. People come back in, they start buying back into the token. The second thing that happens, which I think is the more probable thing, somebody is going to get impatient. And when I say somebody, I think it's going to be a group thing. And somebody's going to kick that snowball down the hill, and they're going to sell it to where it's under ICO price on the bonding curve. When that happens, people are going to start sweating. And I think people are going to start saying, oh shit, I'm an idiot. I should have taken a 2x. I should have sold. I should have, go ahead and bag that profit. And then I'd just be excited right now because it's selling off. I'd be waiting to buy the dip. And then, they're going to start selling. Other people are going to see that, and then they're going to start selling because nobody wants to lose money, right? You don't want to be that guy. While this selling is occurring, the floor is also rising. So hypothetically, is it possible that, we would reach the floor? I think that's extremely improbable. So you have to keep in mind, and you have to, have the mentality that the correct price to re-enter on this token is going to be somewhere between where we are now and the floor, and it's likely not going to be close to the floor. If we see, this many tokens, right? And let me just go back to the contribute page. So you'll notice one thing, and this is just how the bonding curve for Trib works, okay? The price, as it shows right here, Trib gets more expensive as the supply increases and cheaper as the supply decreases. The contract provides infinite liquidity to users. So if you see right here, the total supply right now is 3,314,854 Trib. And you'll also notice that the prices are $3.31. Okay. So let's say right here that, 1,300,000 of this supply are impatient people. And that's not even half the people in existence. If they sell, that's enough to go ahead and raise this floor up to maybe around 90 cents, which is fantastic. And it's going to drive the price down to about $2. I think around $2 is going to be a really, really nice buy-in for this. But you have to keep in mind that any buy-in, any sell is going to incur a 10% tax. So don't think you can be smart and play like little, scalping swings and stuff like that with this. I mean, you really need to understand how it works. You need to understand how price reacts to the supply. How everything that happens in this contract is going to actually burn more tokens and is going to raise this floor. And then you'll start to understand, how you can best play this game. So if, let's say 50% of this supply is sold, okay? So we can just take this number right here, and this is an answer to a question in the audience. Let's see. So times 0.5. Let's say 50% of people get impatient and sell. That's going to drive the price down to $1.66, okay? So times 0.10, and then we're going to add 768,306. So if half of the outstanding supply is sold right now, okay, the floor is then going to be at 93 cents, and the price would be at $1.66. So here's the thing about Trib is that, Trib generates, there's always going to be a snowball rolling on Trib, because Trib generates interest from within. There's MUSD right now, they're locked in a contract. And when you look at this webpage, you can see that you're able to double your earnings by accumulating interest in this contract. So as this number goes up, and people have actually been claiming it at really low numbers, which is stupid because, you want it to be large enough to kind of offset gas costs and shit. This number is going to go up, and people are going to have to sell their Trib to claim this interest. Every single activity that happens with Trib burns more tokens and raises the floor. So theoretically, the thing to do here is, if you're smart enough, you can trade in and out of this a couple of times, and you can get your acquisition cost to a reasonably low level. When the floor gets equivalent to the price that you bought in at, you're literally totally risk-free on this. And for a fact that there's at any time ever, mathematically guaranteed, I can go ahead, I can sell my Trib, I can get my money back. So that's the ideal position to be in, because once you get to that point, it just doesn't fucking matter anymore. You're just free rolling. So people were saying, am I bullish on MTA because of Trib? And then I'll address what Z-Man just said. He said bots are stealing. Yes, I'm really bullish on MTA because of Trib, because I believe that Trib is going to continuously lock up assets and for MTA and increase MTA's TVL, or total value locked. A lot of these DeFi protocols it's kind of like a fundamental way that some people are evaluating this shit, right? A lot of these DeFi protocols are actually people will look at the TVL, and then they'll look at the market cap of the coins, and they'll kind of make a ratio and evaluate things like that. So if MTA is guaranteed to continue having an increasing TVL over time because of something like Trib, that definitely is bullish fundamental for MTA. So Z-Man says the bots are fucking stealing. Okay. So I don't know if you guys remember Tendies, but one of the mechanics of the Tendies game, okay, was there was a grill function. And when somebody came in and grilled the tokens, they got a small piece of the reward. What that did, it filled the bucket, but it gamified the whole system, and it just kept the ball rolling, right? When you actually look at this right here, and you look at this interest, you have to understand that it makes sense to claim the interest, because the interest will double your money. No matter, what you claim, you're pretty much going to double your money every time you claim the interest, which is fantastic. The only thing that does is it gives internal momentum to this project. When you look at a Ponzi or something like that, Ponzi's are great, especially if you get on the ground floor. But at the same time, somebody is going to end up holding that fucking bag. And the reason is Ponzi's are entirely reliant on outside money entering the system. And when that stops happening, the party's over. You know, it's like BitConnect. You know, when people stopped investing in BitConnect, it collapsed. This is different than that because there's actually assets under management on this platform, okay? And we're looking at around $5.5 million right now generating interest, okay, for this protocol. And you might ask yourself, well, how is that possible? You know, how are these dollars generating interest at all? And that's actually because MUSD is, if you deposit it into MStable Save, MUSD is a yield generating asset. Okay, and you can get APY in it because MTA will actually, or MStable takes that money that's in the basket and puts it into fully collateralized like lending protocols and does things like that to generate a yield for people that park their money in the MStable MUSD products and then the Save Vault. So this continuously is going to be generating money from within the protocol. Okay, there's already a lot of MUSD actually locked in this shit forever. It's impossible to get out. So we've already reached a point to where this protocol is unstoppable as long as interest rates sustain themselves. So the whole goal is over time, you get more and more value locked in this perpetual motion machine, right? And you generate more and more interest, and people are going to come in and they're going to claim that interest every single time. And as they're claiming the interest, you're going to continuously raise the price floor, okay? You're going to lock more money in the protocol. And as more money comes into the protocol, there's more interest to claim. The price floor is going to rise faster. So the name of the game here is you want to be the last man standing, you know, and I'm not quite sure how price action is going to behave after this. I think that this was pretty predictable. I mean, people came out of the gate at a 2x. People are going to sell. People are going to take profit on that. But you have to ask yourself, you know, what happens from here? And to be 100% honest, I just have no fucking clue what's going to happen from here. So you can already see that, you know, while we've been streaming, it's already dropped to $3.27. So we can go ahead and take $3.27. We're going to multiply it by 90 because you got to pay a tax to get out. And that would put you at $2.94. So we're getting very, very close. I mean, we pretty much are at ICO price right now. If there's really any more selling at all, we're going to go below ICO price. People are going to see red, and that could cause, you know, a next wave of a sell-off, or it could cause renewed interest and people could come back in. Because the floor right now is so low, it's at 77 cents relative to where the price is. I would imagine that we're going to dump down a little bit. We're going to build up this floor a little more, and then we're going to find kind of an equilibrium. It's not going to be at the floor, but somewhere between, I would say, maybe $1.50 and $2, I think is the best case scenario for entry. And you know what? We may never even get there. I mean, it's honestly impossible to tell. But you can see right here, it costs, you know, there's 5 cents available to claim. This MUSD is generating revenue in real time for this platform. And there's anybody that can come in and claim it. But at the same time, you know, it costs to claim it. You know, they're going to double their money, but they're also going to pay gas. So you have to keep in mind, like, this is the bots game. Just let the bots continue to do this. They're going to continue to raise the price floor. They're going to continue to lock more money in the protocol. The interest rate is naturally going to continue to grow, and this whole thing will begin to accelerate. Now, I mean, it's going to reach a point where growth, you know, on this is absolutely exponential, okay? And when we hit that point, like, the floor will be rising faster than you can imagine, and this will really take off. I'm not quite sure how long it's going to take to get there, but one thing I really like about Trib is the fact that it's 100% collateralized by MUSD, which is a stablecoin backed by a basket of 4 other stablecoins, and that entire basket itself is backed by MTA, the MStable protocol. So you have to remember that if I get into Trib, there's always going to be guaranteed liquidity for me to exit above a certain price, and that price is the floor. And that's what makes this so interesting. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at some of the questions and shit in here. Okay, so people are saying, what about the negative APY? What about this? What about that? Guys, you have to understand that this dashboard, this phase 1 dashboard, I've heard reports that this is buggy right now. So I wouldn't put much weight on that. I'm sure that those things will get ironed out in the next day or two. What actually increases the floor? There's 3 actions that increase this price floor, and all of these things happen right here on this page, okay? 1, somebody comes in and buys Trib. They're going to pay a 10% tax. What that tax does is it's going to buy Trib from the curve. It's going to burn those Trib forever. Because Trib is 100% collateralized, when you burn the Trib, you permanently lock the MUSD associated with that Trib into the protocol. Because there's not enough tokens to sell to redeem all of the MUSD. The contract continuously over collateralizes itself through user interactions. Scenario number 2, somebody comes in and sells. The exact same process happens. They're going to pay a 10% tax in MUSD. That tax is going to buy Trib from the curve, and those Trib are going to be burned forever. That raises the price floor, okay? The third thing that raises the price floor is claiming this interest. So every time somebody claims this interest right here, they also pay a tax, and that tax buys Trib, burns it, and therefore raising the price floor, because every single action here is constantly over collateralizing the contract. There's always, when it says there's infinite liquidity here, okay, what that means is that the contract will always have sufficient liquidity in it for every single token to be sold above the burn price, which is at 77 cents right now. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these questions and shit. And yeah, the price floor is designed to continuously go up. People keep asking about the interest rates and this and that. Guys, don't pay attention to the interest rate right now. I don't think that that's correct. There must be an error in the formula or some shit. So could you cheat and raise the price floor? Well, there's really no way to cheat right here because, you know, trying to game this in any way like comes with a cost. You're going to pay a 10% tax every single time you interact with this. So if you wanted to raise that price floor, like somebody's going to have to buy, or somebody's going to have to sell, or, you know, and those actions are things that can raise that price floor very quickly. Or another way that price floor can be raised is for you to claim the interest. And right now, I mean, there's going to be maybe $10,000 of interest generated per day. But if that was the only thing that was occurring here, the price floor, you know, just would not rise that quickly. So where am I getting 77 cents as the floor from? You have to look at the amount of Trib that have been burned. Okay. We have 774,361 Trib that are burned. You take that and you divide it by 1 million. That's the floor. I think that math is correct. Maybe it's you divided by... Yeah, I think it's 1 million. Boom. Yep. So you divide it by 1 million, and that's the price floor. It's 77.5 cents right now. If every single Trib token was sold back to the contract, you know, the price doesn't go to zero because the contract is over collateralized. The contract contains more MUSD, okay, than all of the Trib in existence are worth if all of them were sold. So there's not a team behind this with first and last names. Am I still keeping an eye on Binance Smart Chain? Abso-fucking-lutely. What are my expectations on the price and the price floor 1 week, 1 month, and 1 year and onward? To be honest, Unfurl, I have no idea. Yeah, I still like burgers. I always have. You guys need to understand that, like, with Binance Smart Chain, there's just not that many things that have migrated over, but CZ set up a $100 million fund for developers to build and migrate to Binance Smart Chain. And trust me, with that amount of money on the table, like giving out grants and shit, people are gonna build out the infrastructure. So investing in BurgerSwap or anything like that right now, like you're investing as a very, very early investor, okay? And you need to understand that BurgerSwap's value or the value of a burger will increase as the transactional volume on the platform increases. And the transactional volume on the platform can't really increase until we have a bunch of tokens, a bunch of users. You know, people are going to build Ethereum bridges to make it very easy to get BEP20 assets. One of the biggest pain points right now, guys, is that, you know, if you want to get that BEP20 BNB, you probably have to go to Binance. You got to withdraw BEP20. It'd be really nice if I could just go to a website and click a button and turn my Ethereum into BEP20 BNB or back. Yeah, High Sky says he sees forks happening soon everywhere. This is going to be causing the next set of clones. You know, I absolutely agree. I think this has been a stunning success so far, and I definitely think that we are going to be seeing forks and shit. Is 1 mil in the contract code or something? Yes, it is. Averaging down on Sparta, I don't know. Is it down? I mean, I bought a lot of Sparta, but Sparta's a long-term play. You know, I bought Sparta super early, and, you know, if Binance Smart Chain succeeds, they're paying all this money for all these people to come over. You know, like, Sparta's going to go to the fucking moon. I mean, that's just a bet that DeFi has played out on Ethereum, and we've seen DeFi top on Ethereum multiple times now, and it always tops because the Ethereum doesn't have the transactional capability to support the amount of users using DeFi on Ethereum. DeFi itself is not dead. You know, DeFi and Ethereum, though, reached its ceiling, and it's done that a couple of times now, and it's very frustrating. I mean, people can't participate. So, you know, my bet right now is that with this $100 million that CZ has set aside and Binance has set aside for people to migrate things to Binance Smart Chain, that people are going to migrate. That's a lot of money on the table. That's a lot of development grants. People are going to migrate. They're going to come over. Binance Smart Chain shit is really going to take off. I could be totally wrong, but I really want to be exposed to the more interesting things going on, and especially some of the earlier projects on Binance Smart Chain. I feel like they're going to perform really well. Am I going to cover XIOT again? Nope. I never, ever date an X, and so I will not be covering, looking at, buying XIOT ever again. Yeah, the fees are awesome in BurgerSwap. I think BurgerSwap is going to emerge the clear winner, and really that's just because it's not a clone of anything. It's totally unique, custom brewed code. And it's a self-emitting protocol, which is something that, you know, doesn't exist anywhere else. So my money is on the thing that is unique. No, I'm not talking about 1/3 of the total supply to get to 1 million. Here's the thing, right? Okay, here's the thing. You divide the number of Trib that have been burned by 1 million to get the floor. The total supply right now are 3,252,000. Notice that the price, and this is just how the bonding curve works, is $3.25. If the total supply, if 200,000 of these tokens get sold, 250,000, the price is going to be at $3. It's very easy to see Trib price and understand that it's a function of the total supply. As it says right here, Trib gets more expensive as the supply increases and cheaper as the supply decreases. Thoughts on Ethereum 2.0? I do think that Ethereum 2.0 is a big deal. I think that what they're rolling out right off the jump is not like a full-fledged Ethereum 2.0. I think it's just like the base infrastructure for it. They're going to go ahead and get that set up. By the way, guys, that's what I'm talking about. They're going to go ahead and get the base infrastructure set up for Ethereum 2.0. I would imagine that we're going to have maybe a 6-month period, maybe less, maybe more, to where the rest of the infrastructure is getting rolled out, and we're not going to be, you know, doing Ethereum shit on Ethereum 2.0, at least for a while. In the meantime, as a short to medium term scaling solution, I do like Binance Smart Chain, just because it's so intuitive for an Ethereum user. Yeah, Hinjo 2017 says that BurgerSwap had a big overhaul today. It made it much more useful. Honestly, I have not looked at BurgerSwap. All right, so we're checking out BurgerSwap right now. It does, in fact, look a lot better now. And you can see, you know, that there's, you know, the pooling, the governance. I'm just holding my burgers. I'm not even looking at them. This UI is a lot better. A lot of people complained that the previous UI was eating up a lot of their computer and shit. I'm not quite sure what this bonus 45,000 burger shit is. Does anybody know anything about that? Okay, so it says the reward pool would be shared among liquidity providers and BurgerSwap. The top 100 liquidity providers, in terms of the average liquidity provided per trading pair for these different pairs, are going to receive these extra burger rewards. Okay, dope. Yeah, this looks way better. Like, this is great. This is a lot smoother, which is really good. I'm impressed. I'm liking that a lot, actually. You know, I think we discussed like how Trib works, the game theory behind Trib, how to play the game, tips and tricks. Mavic Man wants to know if we have to pay a tax and also a gas fee. Absolutely. You are going to have to pay gas every time you interact with an Ethereum contract. It's just the way it goes. So we can go back and, you know, we'll check this out and see what happened. So the last time we looked at this, there was 1,882 addresses for Trib. Do I regret selling my uni? No, because I had 420 uni, and that's just, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I've got no thoughts on any kind of uni plays or anything like that. Yeah, Mavic Man says looking at wallets is fun. I definitely agree. You can kind of like profile people if you look at their wallets, like we just did. You can tell how degenerate they are. What kind of plays they participate in. It's almost like a glimpse into their behaviors in the past, and then you can make inferences about what they're going to do in the future from that. I love all the Bill Drummond tokens. I haven't really played the game of the Bill Drummond tokens because I kind of made a flight to quality. But I do know that, I mean, if you play that game with all the Bill Drummond tokens, like it's 4D chess. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of strategy involved. I mean, guys that are really smart, that can put together, a really solid thesis about the Bill Drummond tokens are making a shit ton of money. Roger Gaber too says, could that guy be the developer of Haka by chance? Hence why he holds so much. That's certainly a possibility. So while Trib is not officially audited, there have been several unofficial audits that all came back clean. I believe there is somebody that is officially auditing Trib, and he said so far so good. It's all really good news. Gianu wants to know if we're really watching Messi snoop ERC20 wallets right now, and we absolutely are. I mean, this is snooping ERC20 wallets is a part of the game. You have to see what the whales are doing, and you have to understand, especially if you're in a game theory coin like Trib, you have to try to get in their heads, and you have to try to put yourself in their shoes and think about, their likely next move here. And yes, I still have, I've actually got more MTA than I've ever had right now. A lot of people don't know this, but the staking on MTA goes live hopefully at the end of next week, pending completion of their contract audit. That's going to lock up a lot of the MTA supply. So that's another reason, in addition to Trib, that I'm super bullish in MTA. I've got more MTA now than I ever fucking have. So I'm actually very happy about MTA. So can I talk about the MTA community call from the other day? I pretty much already disclosed, the big news in the community call, and that's that the contract audit is pending. I voiced to the MTA team that a lot of people are concerned that the investors, the guys that came into the seed round, are going to get coins in October and that they're going to dump them on the market. So it's making a lot of people really skittish in MTA. The MTA team, specifically the CEO of MTA, addressed me directly. I called into the show, and he assured me that was likely not the case. And he said he was going to reach out to Sue right then and there and get to the bottom of this and see if the VCs involved, him and Sam, were going to release a statement saying that, they were planning on staking their MTA and contributing to the long-term health of the protocol. You have to remember that these guys didn't invest that much in MTA, and yeah, they are like a 20x multiple. But at the same time, 3 Arrows has, 9 figures of assets under management. These guys have so much money. They bought a big chunk of Deribit for like $200 million or something crazy like that. Like, to them, making $3 million on a shitcoin is not really something that's going to make or break them. So if I could invest in Trib or MTA, which would I invest in? I think that for me, I want to maintain exposure to both of them because I think that Trib does a lot to add to the health of MTA. And I also think that Trib has some unique mechanisms that, make it attractive as kind of a store of value. I think that Trib's going to continue to perform well. So Anti-Crastinator wants to know, when did I know that I was going to sell Trib for a 2x? I knew when it launched and I saw other people doing it, and it clicked to me that, money is hard right now. This game isn't really easy anymore. So I figured, people were going to continue to sell and take this profit off the table because it's really, really difficult to get a win recently. And they had this win. It was just given to them. It was easy. It was liquid. And people were going to likely continue to sell while they could. You'll notice that ended up being correct. And the selling stopped when we got to around break even for now. But that was really, I hadn't planned on doing that beforehand. That was really a split-second decision. And you'll see here, let's see. You'll see here I posted earlier today that the Trib Genesis event ends in about 30 minutes. If you're overexposed or unsure, take the 2x right on the bottom curve right out of the gate. Price could temporarily dump. If you aren't prepared to strap in for weeks, I advise you to take this profit and be thankful. And that ended up being exactly the right thing to do. How bullish am I on Trib? Well, assume I'm pretty bullish on it, and I'm hoping that there's no like contract vulnerabilities or anything like that. A lot of people have taken a look at this and they've said that they believe it's good to go. But I think that when we have an official audit released, which is something that's coming soon, we'll definitely see more money come in. Oh no, Itchy Massa, Coyote or whatever said that he loved Trib and he was going almost all in on it. And the audit came back really clean, or his audit did. So Flipping Birds wants to know, is the 95.5 MTA poll worth getting in? I think it absolutely is worth getting into. And really the advantage of a 95.5 pool is that it keeps you exposed to minimal and permanent loss, and also gives you the benefit of being able to farm more MTA while you're waiting. Now that 95.5 pool, I don't believe is going to be around forever. It's really more of a placeholder for the staking, which is going to be released hopefully, assuming the audit goes well, and I think it will, at the end of next week. I would imagine when staking goes live, that 95.5 pool will go away, because the 95.5 pool is almost like staking right now. The thing about staking that's different than that 95.5 pool, and why staking is bullish for MTA, is because all the staking is bonded staking. And what that means is that when I come in and I stake my coins, I'm going to have to agree to lock those coins for a certain period of time. And I believe the longer I agree to lock my tokens for, the better rates that I'm going to get. Now, when my tokens are bonded, what that actually means is that if I wanted to get them out, I can't, because I've entered a contract that I'm not going to be selling those tokens for a certain period of time, right? Whereas right now, the staking substitute, that 95.5 pool, is something, if the price goes down, I can exit it and sell immediately. So that really doesn't represent any kind of real like lockup of the supply. It's just a placeholder for MTA holders. It's a way for MTA holders over the past couple of weeks to get more MTA and to add a little bit of liquidity into the system. So Pantsma wants to know if there's any new BSC coins on my radar. Not quite yet. Digital Waves wants to know if we can give a super quick tutorial on how to snoop in someone's wallet. Well, we kind of already did that earlier. This video is recorded and it's going to be cleaned up by the HXRO Labs team after this, and they will post that on YouTube if you'd like to watch that. If you just want to watch this raw stream, you can go ahead and just check out the Periscope video when I end this, and you can scroll back to when we're snooping on wallets, and you can, I think the best way to, get insight into that is just see my insights about when I was snooping, and you can maybe jump to conclusions about why I made some of the assumptions that I did. Zach wants to know, is gym season slowed down? Absolutely. The money is a lot harder to get right now. We did just have this Uniswap airdrop, and that injected a lot of liquidity into the altcoin markets, maybe even preventing further downside on some of these things. As the Uniswap token dumps, more and more people are going to be exiting out of Uniswap. They're going to be taking their free money and they're going to be buying into other things. So if you want to know when other things are likely going to start really bouncing and reversing, I would imagine that would be when Uniswap pulls back a little bit more and more people decide to sell their Uniswap and go ahead and gamble on some other things. Because you have to remember, guys, who got these Uni tokens? I mean, degenerates, gamblers. These are guys that use Uniswap, and these are guys that are looking to participate in DeFi, that are looking to buy this shit that's going to pump really fast. Like, when this goes down and they see that free money evaporating, they're going to take their money, or a lot of them are, and they're going to say, I have ADD, I'm going to buy something else. 100x Long says, do you think the Trib market cap might be too high to be a moonshot? I don't think so. And I think that's just because of the way the bonding curve works. And Trib can be a very, very high market cap and still add value. And the higher Trib's market cap, the faster it's actually going to grow, and that higher that price floor is going to be. If Trib's got a $200 million market cap or something like that, the amount of interest that Trib is going to be generating is going to be putting a lot of positive pressure on that Trib market. And by the time that snowball really gets going and it becomes large enough, it's going to have enough momentum to where it really just becomes an unstoppable force. No, I'm not LPing on Uniswap anymore. I don't know really what the deal is there. I LP'd for a while there. Maybe I'll get some Uniswap tokens when they release that shit, or some 1inch or whatever they're calling it. Yeah, I said HXRO Labs, but it's spelled HXRO. It's the same hero that is responsible for this stream right now. Okay, HXRO Labs, just like it says at the top left of the screen, right here. So we can check out Trib, you know, and Trib's really not doing anything here. And I expect that just because this is the break-even price for so many people. So you've got a situation right now where people are still feeling pretty comfy. Nobody's really sweating yet. Everybody's just kind of waiting on something to happen, and then they're going to react to it. You get the airdrop as a Neo holder. Think about this, Ichimaster. If you get the airdrop as a Neo holder, you have to remember that there's $1.7 billion of Neo out there. So even if you were to get the airdrop, like, think about how many other people are getting that shit too. Maybe it does pump, but you know, it's not, you're not one of the few. Have I seen beefy finance for BFC? BSC. Oh, I haven't, but you know, I guess that's interesting. A yield farming optimizer for Binance Smart Chain. Oh, so what is this? Is this fucking YFI on BSC? So right now it is definitely below that price, and right now I think that the people in the know are starting to sweat. The people that realize that if they were to sell right now, that they would still be maybe at about break even. I don't think the site's lagged because when I switched back over to MetaMask, it just started working again. I think that when this price right here, because people aren't going to be thinking about it this way, but when this price gets to $2 and, you know, 93 cents or whatever, that's when people are really going to start to sweat, even though smart people might be starting to sweat a little bit right now. So if there is selling, it'll be slow down to that level where stupid people are going to start to sweat, you know, probably the majority of people. And then the rate of selling will accelerate at that point, or, you know, if we get below there. Yeah, it's $3.21. So, you know, we're definitely having some sellers here. And if we look at this right here, 321 times 0.9, you can see that we are 100% below ICO price now. So the people in the know, okay, people in the know are sweating, or at least they're starting to sweat. People that aren't in the know think that they still have a little bit of cushion. So we have to get this to the point where stupid people, okay, start to sweat. So Skinny Ape wants to know what happened to the whole people dumping on me is a great narrative. You're never dumping on me. You're dumping on an automated market making protocol. And it's a great narrative. When people dump Trib, the floor of Trib rises, therefore making the protocol more valuable. The whole name of the game here is that any activity that happens on Trib over collateralizes the protocol and raises the floor. See, AstroTools says 2.67 for Trib, but at the same time, you guys need to understand that AstroTools is not correct. AstroTools is relying on the Uniswap price of Trib. So Uniswap is at 2.69, so some just dumbass sold basically for lower than he could have if he just sold back to the automated market maker. What's up with the negative APY? We've already talked about this a couple of times, but essentially the UI on this is just bugged. Are AstroTools and DEX memberships worth it? I don't really know, man. Like, I don't have an AstroTools membership. I've got a DEX membership, but I've been using AstroTools more recently. I think AstroTools has a lot better UI than that. Yeah, Astro has a fake Trib. Yeah, Skinny Ape says he feels a lot better about his little moon bag and Trib. Check out in a month or two. Honestly, I think that Trib is going to perform very well. And I think Trib is something that could perform regardless of what Bitcoin's doing, of what Ethereum's doing. Eventually, it's inevitable. It's mathematically impossible almost that the price floor for Trib isn't going to rise to your buy-in price. And at that point, you literally know that like you're in profit guaranteed perpetually forever. Yeah, I missed 2017 too, TJ. But guys, we've been going for about 2 hours now. I hope this stream was informative for you. If you're going to play the Trib price swings, make sure you're not over trading. That's going to eat you up. Paying a 10% tax hurts. So make sure that buying and selling, okay, make sure that 10% is worth it. If you're going to pay that 10% tax, you know, and you buy too early, then that just sucks. Like, you're going to have to hold, you're going to have to keep holding it because it's going to be costly to say I bought too early and now I have to take, you know, I've got to cut my loser now. And the same thing happens with selling too early. You know, if this dips down and we get to about $2 and you say, fuck yeah, I'm going to buy in, you know, for you to even be at break even, you're going to need this to go up, okay? So to even play these swings, you're really going to have to be patient and you're really going to have to do the math and time this right. For most people, it's probably a better thing to just put put this to the side and not look at it and not worry about it. The Wise Bob says it's time to go FUD Trib. Moneyman says he really appreciates the input on Trib. It makes him feel safer knowing it's not possible to lose it all. Moneyman, you are very welcome, dude. And honestly, I think we're all going to do really well on Trib. You know, like anything, if you are in this, just understand that this isn't risk-free. There are risks here. We haven't had the official audit release yet. There's definitely protocol risk. The presence of an exploit is unlikely. It's definitely something that can happen and has happened before, but it's unlikely because a lot of guys have already looked at these smart contracts and they said that they're good to go. But that doesn't mean that there isn't something there, and it doesn't mean that eventually somebody will find something. Just the probability of that is lower. So just keep that in mind. These are officially unaudited smart contracts. All of this stuff is mega risky, just when considering the protocol risk. So never put in more than you're willing to lose. But anyway, guys, I'm going to run. That is the end of this for me. Thank you for being here on Sunday night, and play it safe out there, and good luck. Till next time, we'll see y'all later.